Here's another example of a quadratic algebraic expression which we're going to factorise. Now this time you'll notice that I've got a minus sign in there. Now we're going to follow that same method that we did in video 1 of this, which is we're going to put two brackets there, and this just means that this bracket, every term in this bracket will be multiplied by every term in that bracket. We don't need to put a multiplication sign in there. So we're going to put an x in there and an x there. Now let's look at our, remember that little method, look at the single number, which in this case is +4, and we need to find two numbers that multiply together, that's the important thing, multiply together to make 4. Well, the only numbers we know that will do that is 1 and 4 and 2 and 2. Now those two numbers, either these or these, must then add up to make 5. Now in this case -5, but we'll worry about the minus sign in a moment. So we know that 1 and 4 make 5, and we know that 2 and 2 make 4. And even if we were to subtract 2 from 2, we wouldn't get 5. So we can eliminate these numbers here. And we're going to stick with 1 and 4. So we'll put a 1 there and a 4 there. Now I haven't put any signs in yet because we've got to figure out what the signs are. Are they both positive, both negative? Is one negative or one positive? Well, let's look at that -5. We know that for 1 and 4 to make 5, they've got to add up. In other words, they've got to be the same sign. And the only way that they're going to make -5 is if they're both minus. Now here's where those multiplication rules come in, because we can double check this. We can say, okay, well, does -1 times -4 give us +4? Yes, it does, because remember that multiplication rule, minus times a minus equals a plus. So this is where everything's linked in. So x times x, let's do our double check. X times x gives us x squared. X times 4 gives us -4x. -1, because that's really x times -4, of course. -1 times x is -x. Remember, we don't need to write the 1 in there. And then finally, -1 times -4 is +4. Okay, so let's just go through that again. X times x is x squared. X times -4 is -4x. -1 times x is -x. And -1 times -4 is +4. Now we can collect these terms, and so we have our x squared there, and our -5x there, and our +4 there, and we can see that we're back to our original expression there, and that's just to double check that we've factorised it correctly, because if we factorised it correctly, then when we expand the brackets, in other words multiply them together, we should get back to our original expression, which we do. So that little method, okay, find two numbers that multiply together to make the number that's on its own, and then those same two numbers, because there may be a choice of numbers as we had here, because here we had 1, 4, or 2 and 2. So you look at those numbers and you think, well, of those pairs of numbers, which ones are going to make add up to this number here? So we can see that not that one, not that pair, it's got to be the 1 and 4. So multiply together to make the single number on its own, and those same two numbers must add together to make the number that's attached to the letter here. Okay.